Welcome back. Today we are going to be covering Hell's Paradise episode 3. Um, I ain't got anything else to say. Let's go and get right into it. Daniel, lead us off.
So, uh, I thought this episode was pretty interesting. I mean, not a huge amount happened. We saw Gabby Morrow get to the island along with all the other criminals, and we kind of see Sagiri's mindset on the island. All the other Asaemon are kind of like doing what they can to get an edge on everyone else, but Sagiri is still like following the rules, following the rule book. She doesn't want to break the rules that the Shogun set, and I think it's just it shows the little clash between Sagiri and Gabby Maru too.
Yeah, I thought that the fight was really good, and it
Mhm.
shows that they both do care for each other, even though they haven't known each other for what, couple days, maybe a week, depending
Uh,
on the time.
yeah, I think it was roughly a week.
Mm. And what Daniel had said about her following the rules when the weapons expert pulls up, or weapons thief, whatever you want to call him. He's about to fight him, but she's like, you're forgetting
Put on your
you're
pants.
forgetting
Yeah.
these," and she makes him tie him himself too, which is
Bonds,
like
man.
you could at least tie him. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
no, I thought it was pretty good. It was definitely very well animated, and and really the episode didn't have too much in it besides the two fights, and then the like internal struggle of each character while they were fighting, and then you get the little dialogue with can't remember can't remember the Osman's name, the one of that was in charge of the weapons expert.
hmm
I like
Um,
how it just cuts to him having everything that was in his backpack just impaled into him. Like, I mean, props to him for lasting that long, I guess, where it took every weapon to kill him. But I like how it just literally he was just like a shish kebab, just completely. Oh my god, it was so fucking good. I see. I also like in the episode where like how you were saying like how she like bind your hands and he's just sitting there kind of like complaining and he was just like I feel like he's kind of like mocking her and like everything.
Yeah.
Even like the first people they pull up on, they're unbound and he's instantly like he's like see his hands, they're not tied. He's like, so I just don't understand why I gotta fight fair fight. And it's
mhm.
I like the story between them, and it only gets better. Um, but it's just funny how he's trying to play to the rules and everything right now.
Yeah, how you mentioned about how he was complaining. I don't remember if we ever see his age later on, but it just kind of goes to show that he's not some older dude. He's still like
Mhm.
around, like I would say, no older from 17 to like 24 in that age range. So
Roughly.
I thought, don't we find out he's 18? I thought we did at some point.
I don't
Maybe
know.
maybe he was just in the manga. I thought we found that out. It might not even
I can't remember it, but
be right what I was thinking of, but
it was so
Um,
long ago.
so, I personally thought that it was, the animations just keep going up, man. It just keeps getting better and better each time I watch it. Um, it was. I thought that the fight was good, but I felt like it could have been a little bit more shown instead of just cutting away to the X weapons, the bloody monk or whatever they call him, dead. That's a personal opinion. Um, but in order to progress the story faster, that's definitely needed to be done because it's that way in the manga too. They don't really show the whole battle; they just kind of show them get fucked up and then, excuse my language, and then dead. Um, Sagiri and Gebmaru's kind of their their dynamic is so unique per se, and between them because they bicker and kind of complain back and forth to each other like brother and sister. Um, you know, and then you see, a bunch of you see one of the uh Isamon, is that what they're called?
Hmm.
The one like the one like the head honcho guy with the red hair that we see that's leading all of them. He gets smashed and eaten. by his prisoner, you know, which is
The
it's
giant
interesting.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna see that fight,
Um, mhm.
but
and then you see the blind dude. He just wrecks that one succubus chick, just completely dismembers her in a pool of her own blood. So we're already down one Isamon and two or three of the prisoners. Um,
I
you
think
know,
also Chobi was being like choked out by one of the prisoners on the boat.
Yeah,
That's
it
yeah,
showed
another
him
one.
and
tearing him to
yeah,
pieces though.
yeah,
So
you told yeah, that's what
And the one
those
girl's
three.
stupid. The dude's
Yeah.
blind. You taking off your clothes ain't gonna do nothing. It's like what? Hey, what's that gonna do?
He's gonna feel it. He's
Like,
gonna
he doesn't
sense it.
care.
um, so and then we see the battle between the Bloody Monk and Gabimaru for a little bit, and then we see Gabimaru completely, shish kebab him completely. One sword in each body part. And
Yeah,
then, of course, we see the fight between him and Sagiri and how their dynamic shows. It's kind of like cats and dogs or brother and sister. Just get on each other's nerves. And then, I mean, we see to add on to everything that everybody else is talking about. We also see the creatures that inhabit the island. We see the centipedes and the butterflies with faces and the giant
fish
fish
dude.
dude.
He was so
Yeah,
much grosser on
yeah,
screen.
yeah,
And
it
Daniel was
was.
over because we watched the movie and then we came here and we're like, oh yeah, we gotta watch the
Mhm.
episode. And it was on the projector, so it was just this big old fish dude taking up so much of the screen. It grossed me
Yeah.
out. I was like, what is? I had completely forgot that he was one of them.
Well, and then like the dragon swordsman, right? Is
Oh,
that
yep.
his title? No, he gets stung by the butterfly with a friggin' stinger, and cuts off his hand, and that
Oh, the
hand just
stinger is what's
yeah,
not the
the
Yeah, the
stinger,
face.
stinger.
Not the
yeah,
no,
The
it's
face
the
is.
stinger is what
stinger.
No, I
causes
know
it.
that's what. No, I like how you put emphasis on the
like
butterfly with the stinger, not butterfly with a human face on it,
yeah. Well,
or the
I
little
mean, yeah,
Elden Ring hand
yeah,
centipede.
Hmm.
yeah. So, but and he gets stung by the butterfly with a face and stinger. That
There you
hurt.
go. Yeah.
And proceeds to cut his own hand off, and you see his hand lying on the ground, and it just turns into a freaking like piece of wood with flowers on
Yeah, that
it.
was
And
that was really smart of him. I completely forgot that's how he lost his hand.
Hmm.
Hmm.
mhm.
I
So
like how with the I was just thinking about this with Saguri and Gabby Maru, how like when they had their fight, she was still going to play everything by the rules, but at that moment he completely understood that if I kill her now, my job gets so much easier that I can just do everything myself.
mhm,
Like she still believes that she has to like basically have him like on lockdown and everything. Um,
yeah,
but it just clicks in his head instantly, and she just like accepts for a second that he's like, oh my, cold blooded killer, and he's ready to kill her, but he still like does all the hesitating and stuff, and you end up like finding out like that's like his feelings like his wife has put onto him and everything,
mhm,
because I can't remember the chief's name, but the whole time that he's basically going like sicko mode is just like him, like he feels like the feeling of like the ex-war chief or whatever over
the
him.
the chief of
And
Igaku Kure or something like
yeah,
that.
I like that aspect of like that's like his like dark side, but she's like the angel that's always like trying to
Yeah,
pull him out of it, out of that
devil and
darkness.
angel. Yeah, yeah, that is really cool. Because during the fight you see him with the phantasm of the village chief on his shoulders. Like kill her. And then just like he gets to the point where he's about to, and then his wife just pops up in a phantasmal form. Then Sagiri says the exact same line his wife said. You know, and he just calms down and doesn't kill her. So I mean, all in
And
all, I thought
she's
it was really good.
yeah, and
She's
she's gonna look
disbelieved.
away that one time just to kind of like, oh, we'll forget about it. You had your little spaz out. It is what it
Hmm.
Yeah.
Y-
So,
One thing I want to add real quick is how T-Dub said he wished he saw more of the fight with the Bloody Monk. I think it's cool that they didn't show it because it kind of shows like, yeah, this guy's not even worth showing, right? He's not even
is.
strong enough to show you
You
guys
thought he was gonna
Gabimaru
be
fighting him.
strong.
Yeah, it's like he has all these weapons, but it's not even worth showing you guys.
See, I was just about to ask you
understandable.
guys if with T Dub's statement, um, that he wish he showed it. Do you wish they would slow down then and maybe adapt some things that weren't in the manga, like the fight?
I
I
feel like it
personally
could
like how they're
cause.
sticking with it, but
Mhm.
They could do it as filler, maybe like later down the line if more people like
Let's
request
not do
for it and
filler.
stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think I
I
don't know.
mean,
It's
then when you add more stuff in, that's what it's gonna end up being is
he's
filler.
still watching Naruto right now,
So
so he's okay
but
with filler.
He's
my
filler
my
pilled.
my my thing is just like I feel like it would create a more tense atmosphere. Like no, it's a fight.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of people are like, well, we want to see the fights, and I mean we will later on, of course, but it's just it's that beginning fight. It's what usually gets everybody hooked into, and I understand why they didn't do that in the manga or the anime. Um, but I just personally think it would have been pretty decent to see.
I think with
I
how the
think
I
it
can
would have
get
series
been.
both.
is, I think like how with how the series is so dark already, and there is
Hmm.
so much action going on without it being a direct one-on-one fight. I don't think they need it, but also you guys all know that I am very much a fan of just sticking to the source material. So
Hmm.
that's how I feel about
I can see both like points of view. Like, yeah, you get to see him just completely like destroy this guy, or it's just like the point of like, oh, you think this is about to be like some serious fight, and then it just cuts to the dude just being completely just dead, like he's just assaulted,
it. Mhm.
and you're just like left to your imagination of how it went down.
My
So
opinion.
I can see both.
Yeah, my opinion is we saw the beginning of the fight, and Maru almost killed him with one
Yeah.
hit. So showing the fight, I mean, what are we gonna see? The same thing of him just kicking the swords back at the dude until the dude finally dies. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I just feel like how the story puts it and how it wants us to think is like this guy isn't strong. Like the guy Gabby Maru is fighting in that scene, the bloody monk isn't strong. Like he
Hmm.
just has a lot of weapons and he has the armor sewed into him. Aside from that, he's not strong enough for us to even see.
Yeah, he says we're just getting started. We don't get the it just cuts away.
Yeah,
Just
that was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny too when Gabby Maru was binding his hands and just like eating all the weapons and stuff, and then he like finished tying it and he's like, "All right, I'm ready."
I'm ready. Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have been demoralized if I threw
I would have just gave it. I would have been like, "You
three
win.
weapons at
See
this
you
dude,
later."
one being a giant flail, and it's just breaking on him. Like, yeah,
Well,
give me peace.
he also got completely destroyed by like the wrecking ball, and he's like, "All right, I'm down to the one chick," and he's like, you can just hear him start to like groan and get up, and he's just like, "All right,
Okay,
Mhm.
let me put my
if you're
bonds back
fighting
on."
somebody and they just casually say, "I dislocated my neck," you know you
Yeah,
lost. Like you should just
yeah,
stop trying to fight the guy.
that's it. I just dislocated my.
Yeah,
We're good.
it's just no big deal.
Popped it back in. We're all good.
Hmm. So
So, how do you guys think they're doing at adapting it so far? The last
I'm
uh,
question, then we get out of here.
pretty
out of
faithful.
10. Out of 10, I would give it an 8 out of
Okay.
because we did notice like some things about like how we thought the wife's face we in like the manga it went on for longer. Instead, we got it pretty early on.
Hmm.
Um, Better than I mean, honestly, it might even be a little maybe a 9 out of 10, honestly, because that's like
Mhm.
kind of like my one only a little bit, and it's not even like a big gripe about it. It was just something that I noticed, and if we're talking about like straight up adapting it, that is just one little thing that I would say that I can know about it. But it's probably not really a bad adjustment to begin
Hmm.
with. So
I think it's pretty faithful to the source material, of course. Besides that one little hiccup that T mentioned, but I mean, to each their own, and I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 as well.
Daniel?
I'd probably give it a 9.5. I feel like the part that they cut out wasn't that big of a deal to me, and the part that they're really excelling at is making the Hell's part of the paradise really show in the animation, right? I
Mhm.
mean, all of the monsters that we're seeing are very well animated. They are like moving in ways that are, adding to the, creep factor. Uh, they're zooming in on parts of the monsters that they really want to like emphasize, like the face on the butterfly. So I just feel like they're doing a really good job of, showing us what we want to see.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because I would agree. I agree to you that the change I didn't really like, but how Daniel explained it last time, I can see what they're going for, and they haven't messed up anything, and it's obviously it looks good, and it's still telling the story the same way that we read it. So I think it's perfect so far.
I think
It's
it's
not
been
a
pretty
perfect
killer.
starter anime, but
No.
it is
No,
a
but I
it.
think it
Well,
could be
honestly,
one that like
if you're
early
like,
on somebody could
say,
get
if you like
into.
fantasy type stuff and it's not gonna gross you out, then it's a perfect starter anime. But for like people who don't know what to expect in anime, it's kind of like you go from humans to this island and goes from 0 to 100 so quick that I think that there's
I
other ones that could ease you into things like
Yeah,
that.
I feel like
I
this
think
does
this
a
is my
really
first
good job
manga
of
I read
preparing you,
too.
though. I
I
feel like
think.
For the monsters or for the gore? Because the gore is all for it.
for everything, honestly. Because for the monsters we get like the scene of the guy on the boat that's coming back who's turned into flowers, so you obviously know something's up on the island. They're talking about it before they even go about how it's, Hell's Paradise. The gore not so much, but I mean, you're following a
The
guy
series
who's
is literally called Hell's Paradise.
yeah, so
I also like how a lot of the like criminal, even the execution are noting like this truly like it's a paradise, but this is hell.
mhm.
And I like how that keeps getting like
But it
brought
was
up for
sold. It
the
was
fact
sold
of
as
like them
heaven.
referencing it to old. Well, I know that's
Yeah,
the thing. Like it's sold as heaven, but they're like, no, this isn't heaven.
It's
This is
sold as
hell.
That's
heaven,
where they
but
get.
you
That's
just
where
showed
they
me
get
this
the
dude just
paradise.
turned in a tree coming back and
That's where they get the
nobody else
paradise
is
stuff
returned
from.
to lives. But yeah, it's heaven, all right.
It's heaven.
yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting how some of the people are like, "Oh, you guys should feel luckier going to paradise," and other people are like, "I
So
No,
feel
yeah, the last
better."
episode we didn't even talk about that. How they were just like, yeah, you guys should be lucky. He
Mhm.
chose you guys. Like, no, we're not lucky.
no,
Why don't you
well,
go then if you're so happy about it?
And it's
Instead of licking
basically a
this dude's
suicide
nuts.
mission. It is a suicide mission, basically.
Yeah.
even the executioners are kind of there just to like be suicided a little bit in a way
Well, the
because
one he was happy to
the lore
take
of the
dude's head.
island is you don't get off alive or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one guy was happy to take dude's head and be gone.
So he could be gone, but like good luck getting off of the island.
Yeah.
Yeah. They ain't just monsters on the island.
Yeah.
I think
And they got the
that's
whole current thing too, right? The current is also it brings you back only in
spoilers.
one.
We'll learn.
Well, I'm just
Spoilers.
It's
saying.
coming up.
I'm saying when we learn it, current.
Don't worry. The last two episodes we spoiled, I just put in the thing, but this is at the very end. They upset about some currents, then don't watch YouTube about the show you're watching. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
All right, you guys got anything else?
No, I'm good.
Nope.
All right, we'll get out of here then. See you, boys.